Greetings, car fanatics. How's it going? So as you guys know, in about a week and a half, I'm going to be going to my first track day with my 2010 Porsche 997. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get your car ready for your first track day. Okay, so assuming your car is in good working order, the first thing we want to do is check all of our fluids to make sure we have fresh fluid and that they're all topped off. Looking at the motor, you want to make sure you have fresh oil in your engine, because when you're on the track and you're running your engine pretty hard, that's going to put more stress on the engine. So it's really important that you have fresh oil in your car. In my car, I changed my oil only about a couple months ago and I haven't really put any miles on the car, so my oil should be good to go. Additionally, you want to check your coolant system and make sure you have enough coolant in there. So as you can see here, I have a little bit at the minimum level. I'm going to add a little bit more coolant in the system to make sure I don't run hot during the track day. Also, all right, so we're going to mix a 50-50 solution of distilled water and Porsche genuine coolant. Let's go ahead and do that and top off our cooling system. And then you want to make sure you have full steering fluid in here. If we take a look at mine, you can see here that my power steering fluid is in between the minimum and maximum lines, so my power steering fluid is good to go. Next, it's really important to check your brake fluid. If you have old brake fluid, definitely change it out before doing your track day. This is one of the most common things you want to resolve, or else you're going to have spongy brakes. Now in my case, it's been about 2 years since I replaced my brake fluid. I don't actually have any brake fluid on hand, but I'm going to be changing it to fresh AT Type 200 brake fluid. I'm not going to make a video on that, but I'll post a link in the description below if you want to see how to change out your brake fluid. Okay, so after you make sure your engine and all of your systems involving fluids are good to go and they're not leaking and they have fresh fluids, you can move on to your wheels. Now the tires and the brakes are extremely important if you're going to be tracking your car. You want to make sure your tires are in good condition. So you want to make sure they're not old or cracking or have any defects. Additionally, you want to make sure your rotors and your brake pads are in good condition. So make sure you have enough meat on your brake pads and that your rotors, especially if you have cross-drilled rotors like this, that they don't have any signs of fatigue and cracking and stuff like that, because you don't want to have any braking issues when you're going high speed on the track. So also before the track day, you want to make sure you have the right tire pressure. So let me go ahead and do a test. So as you can see here, my tire pressure is at 42 psi, and that's actually right at what the factory recommends. I wouldn't really recommend messing around with your tire pressure just yet. Really see how the car feels, and you'll be able to fine tune your tire pressure once you're actually at the track. In addition, you want to make sure your lug nuts are all torqued to the correct specification. So for my car, it's 96 foot-pounds. And it's extremely important that you torque your lugs before you actually go on the track day. After you've run your car on the track, if you notice a loose lug nut or something like that, don't torque it right away when everything is hot. You could actually break your lug nut or do other damage to your car. So make sure you torque your lug nuts before you actually hit the track and when your wheels and lug nuts are cool. And the final thing you can do to get your car ready for the track, and this is totally optional, is get a track alignment. So if it's your first time, you might not need to get a track alignment, but if you've done some driving and you want to get a little bit better handling, you can do a track alignment. Okay, so let's wrap up the video by talking about what you need to bring with you to the actual track day. So first, to take care of your tires, you want to bring a portable tire inflator in case you need to mess with your tire pressure. This is the Milwaukee 12-volt inflator. It already has a gauge in there, but it doesn't hurt to have an extra gauge here just in case you need to use that. Additionally, you want to have a pyrometer. So this is going to be helpful for adjusting your tire pressure. What you essentially want to do is have a pretty even temperature across the entire width of your tire. So as you scan the treads of your tire, you'll be able to see if the inside or the outside is hotter than other parts of the tire, and that will help you understand if you need to increase or decrease your tire pressure. Additionally, you want to bring the common fluids with you in case you need to top them off. Have some extra brake fluid, distilled water, extra coolant, and some engine oil. Now in terms of tools, I don't recommend bringing a ton of tools on your very first track day because one, your car should be already reliable where you don't have to fix anything on the track. Additionally, you shouldn't be really swapping out parts like brake pads or anything like that on your first track day. It's really overkill. I'd say get a feel for how your car drives stock on the track, and then from there you can start making tweaks. In this case, all I have is a torque wrench and a socket for my lug nuts, just in case they come loose for whatever reason. So moving on to some other specific gear you're going to need a helmet, but double check with your track day organizer because they could have some loaner helmets available for you. I'm also bringing some masking tape in case I need to have a number decal on the side of my cars. I could just use the masking tape to make whatever number I want. Additionally, if you're the type to want to record your experience, you want to bring some camera equipment, so make sure you have a sturdy suction cup mount, especially if you're going to be mounting a camera on the outside of the car. The very last thing you want is for your camera equipment to fall off on the track, and that potentially be a hazard to other people on the track. Be sure to bring extra batteries and test out your camera equipment in terms of where you're going to mount it, what settings you're going to use, and all that beforehand. That way when you're at the track, you don't have to worry about setting up your camera. And then finally, you want to bring things to take care of yourself. So bring some sunglasses, bring a hat. You also want to bring some sunblock, bring some snacks, bring a bunch of water, and wear comfortable shoes that you can drive in. You don't necessarily need racing shoes or anything like that, but just wear something that's comfortable that you're used to driving in. And finally, just bring a chair so you have somewhere to sit. Well, there you have it, car fanatics. That's what you need to make sure your car is ready for your first track day. In general, just go to the track day with an open mind. Don't really be too aggressive. Check your ego at the door and make sure you're staying safe. Other than that, you just need to bring a few basic things. Don't worry about change out your pads and other stuff like that. That's going to be later when you become more advanced. But for your very first track day, just make sure you're taking it easy and you're really focusing on learning while having fun. Well, thanks for watching, car fanatics. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to hit that bell notification icon so you get updated each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.